What's up YouTube, Thrift Hunter here, and this is the Rolex I bought for $75. Is it real? How do I know? And what is it worth? We're going to get into all of that, and we're just going to do a quick video on this beautiful little 14 karat gold Rolex Oyster Perpetual. So I saw this pop up online, and this is not the first time this has happened to me, something like this, where something comes up extremely cheap and kind of nobody buys it. Nobody wants to touch it because everybody kind of expects that it's a mistake or, you know, it's just going to get canceled. And a lot of the times these orders will get canceled when you see something extremely cheap, but every once in a while the order will go through and this gets delivered to your door. So this piece here popped up and it was listed as 18 karat gold. It is not 18 karat gold, but it had a couple of interesting things about it. It's got an inscription on the back here, which I'm going to do my best to get focused. So one of the things that shows you that it's quite likely real is that it's got this inscription on the back with the date there, 1963. Also, you may notice right here there's a little mark on the back of the case, and that is actually a gold hallmark. The other thing here is this crown. This is called an underlined crown, where it's got the line underneath the crown. That's an older style Rolex crown. You can see it's got holes in the lugs. You can see the wear on this piece. Can you see all the little fine scratches? That's very indicative of gold. Then you can see this really nice kind of engine turned type of bezel. This is a very old style bezel that Rolex used to do that you don't see too often anymore. I don't think they make a bezel like this. This is also similar to the Thunderbird bezel. Then you can see this dial here, which has all of this kind of like spotting and rusting. So you're showing some age on the dial. This also helps you understand that this dial has not been refinished because of the way the print is on here is very clean. The Rolex print is very clean, and it's starting to wear as well. You can see that the print is wearing the same as the dial. The crown is still very much very centered and correct there. One of the things that you always want to look for on a Rolex is the lume dots here. So every marker has a lume dot on the end. These are also darkened and wearing the same way as the rest of the watch. And it's also very centered. A lot of the times when you see refinished dials or something that's had something done to it, these lume plots will be off center to the dial markers. And what's interesting about this one is it's a 25-year service Coca-Cola watch, which will help with the collectability of this watch. This is a an early 60s Oyster Perpetual, which is not necessarily the most expensive watch in the world. It depends on the condition. Obviously, this condition is maybe fair for the age, but not quite, it's definitely not mint condition on the dial. And you can see the nice hands here and how well finished those are. Again, the lume on the inside of the hands is also the same kind of darkened color as the other looms, so you can tell that these are likely the original hands. And the inscription on the back here, sometimes you'll see these Coca-Cola watches with just the inscription on the back and not Coca-Cola on the dial. So this has both. This has Coca-Cola and Rolex brand on the dial, which does add to the collectability a little bit. And then once we get a watch like this in, it didn't come on this leather strap I put it on here. It was on a stretch band. But Rolex always has their markings on the inside of the lugs here, in between the lugs. And this is very, very worn, and I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to capture any of the markings. Maybe on the other side we can catch a little bit. You guys may be able to see more than I can. But what will be on this side, I believe, is the reference number. So this is a 1003 reference Rolex which is a little bit different from the 1005, which you may find in 18 karat gold, but usually doesn't have this type of bezel on here. So one side it's going to say the reference number 1003, and maybe it will say registered design or Rolex registered design, something like that. And then on the other side will be the serial number. This one happens to have the serial number, and then it also says 14K below the serial number. The serial number on here is very, very, very faint, but with a loop and high magnification, you can read the serial number, which is definitely a bonus, because then you can really get the date nailed down, and also, you know, you can verify it against any records that may be out there, like service records or, I don't know, just anything else. But one of the interesting things I found is I did research the name on the back, Fred Jones Jr., and from what I could find, I'm not sure 100% that this is who it is, but I believe it is correct. Fred Jones Jr. worked for Coca-Cola for 35 years. And I believe what it started in, so if you work 25 years back from here, so it was in, 38, 40? He started working there, and then he actually worked there for 35 years. And I also found out that he was a painter and has some kind of either works or reference in the Smithsonian, which I thought was pretty cool. So this does have a little bit of a story. It's always nice when you can look up the individual that this watch belonged to. As far as why it was sold for $75, I am not sure. Assuming that this belonged to an elderly person, that they either passed away and someone inherited this and it just somehow ended up in a garage sale or something like that, and ended up in my possession. I honestly didn't think it was going to come in, but I was surprised when it did. It does run by the automatic power, so let me see if I can get it running. Yeah, I can feel the rotor moving. So it does run under the automatic power. Unfortunately, the crown and stem assembly here is not working right, so you can see the crown, it's going to be hard to see, is a little bit messed up, this crown tube. So I believe this should have a screw down crown, so you can see the ridges here for this crown being able to screw down, and it currently does not screw down. So obviously there's something wrong with the crown, and there also may be something wrong with the stem here. I have not been able to open the case back quite yet. I did try and buy the tools. I have a rubber ball opener to try and open this, and it won't budge at all. I tried buying the wrench to open this off of Amazon, but the 29.5 millimeter wrench does not fit on the back of this. I believe, based on the measurements that I made, that this should be a 30 millimeter, which is kind of an off-size case back as far as the standard watch tools go. And so I do need to buy that part, but I believe it's like it's a specialty part, so it's at least $60 just for the bit. And then to get a proper press to open this, it's about maybe $150. You can get the little handheld ones, but this does have like a rubber seal on the inside that is probably very worn, and this whole thing is just stuck together. So I would likely need the press with the correct case back to open this. So I may end up just trying to take this to a jeweler at some point to have them open it for me. Obviously this watch needs service. It's going to need work on it. And so I don't know if I should sell it as is, or if I should get this fixed up. As far as the value of this piece, it's kind of hard to tell. I've checked a lot of references. There is one very similar to this with an asking price of $5,600 that does not have Coca-Cola on the front. It just has Coca-Cola on the back. I've seen a completely mint example of this watch go for $12,000. I've seen maybe worse condition ones than this, even with the dial being rusted like this. Still not too bad. have sold for, in the past, maybe a few years ago, for $2,000. So I don't know exactly the price on this in the current condition. It probably needs $800 to $1,000 worth of service just to get it like normal, to be wearable as like an everyday kind of watch, I would think. I don't think this crown is too easy to come by. I'm sure that's going to cost at least like $100. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this watch. Let me know what you think I should do with it. If I should just sell it as is, take the profit and run, or get it fixed up, keep it, save it as an investment. Also, make sure you guys, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments what you think about this $75 Rolex find. Thanks for watching.